welcome. It's Rock Stories with the Brummster. Real rock stories from the fans' perspective. Tales from the fans. Go to the Rock Stories with the Brummster YouTube channel today. That's all one word. Rock Stories, IES. Rock Stories with the Brummster. That's with two M's. Rock Stories with the Brummster YouTube channel. Go there today. All of our past episodes. Greg Thomason, head of security, lived with Mac Fleetwood for over 20 years and the whole band. He was our last guest, and with so many cool people from the radio industry, musicians, people that just love rock. It's all about you, the fans. What is your favorite concert memory? Rock memories, all the way back. Go in the time machine, and we're glad that you're here kicking it with us. Today, we have a cool dude on the show. I'm excited to talk with Joey Alessi from the Aerosmith tribute band Sweet Emotionz with a Z. He's rocking the drums for Sweet Emotionz. They're opening up for Fast Times, killer rock show. Been there before, Fast Times with Ridgemont High theme, but they do all sorts of 80s rock. And then this year they've got, I can't remember who was it, not Devo. It was someone else that was the tribute band opening for him last time. So important that I don't even remember it, right? But I remember this one, Aerosmith tribute band, Sweet Emotionz, opening up for Fast Times, again, May 2nd, 7:15. The news I'm hearing is you should try to get there about 6:30, get settled in, get some merch, get you something to drink, and enjoy the show. 7:15, 7:30 is when it's starting. Going to be lots of fun at the Visalia Fox Theater. Get your tickets right now, foxvisalia.org. That's foxvisalia.org. Again, Saturday, May 2nd, opening for Fast Times. Aerosmith tribute band, Sweet Emotionz. Joey Alessi on the drums for Sweet Emotionz. And today, here on Rock Stories with the Brummster. Welcome to the show, Joey. What's happening, brother?
Hey, thank you so much for having me on, man. Really appreciate it. It's an honor.
Dude, I love the fact that these musicians like yourself and Fast Times and the rest of your bandmates, that you're keeping the fun alive. Not everybody can go see an Aerosmith show, especially as they're not touring anymore. And what's that?
I was going to say, if you want to talk about keeping the fun alive, how kick-ass is Fast Times?
Dude, that's what
Fast Times is phenomenal.
Whiskey A Go-Go, folks.
Just to see them.
They're the official whiskey band at the Whiskey A Go-Go. And,
right.
I mean, one of the best shows that you'll ever see. Energetic, just jam-packed with fun. If their date, bring the family. It's even I brought my young son, and he was just rocking out, man. It was so cool. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
Yeah, my daughter, we played with him at the Canyon in Agoura, and my daughter came from Santa Barbara to see her old man play in his little Aerosmith band, and we stayed and watched Fast Times. And she just fell in love. I mean, what other band can you go to and hear Personal Jesus and then For Whom the Bell Tolls? Like right after another. They're phenomenal. I love them.
That's what it was. Depeche Mode. They had a Depeche Mode band last time. So,
did they?
Yeah, Aerosmith. My God. So how did I know you've got so much stuff to talk about. I mean, you mentioned earlier, I can't wait to hear the Kiss stories. Like,
that's all I want to talk about.
What made you fall in love with rock? I'm guessing it's that, or what was the thing that got you going this direction, man?
Kiss all day, all the time. Kiss. When you're 8 years old and you see these monsters on an album cover, and you're going, whoa, man, what is this? And you put on that first Kiss album. And you just hear this straight up good rock and roll between the visual and the music. I got to say, that's what hooked me. My favorite band before Kiss, was the Jackson 5. then Kiss came along and everything changed.
Big time, dude. Especially back then when you opened up your album and you pulled out the art, right?
Right. And they always gave you little Easter eggs with their albums. Like I remember when I opened up Love Gun, and that little paper gun came out. Dude, I mean, that is amazing stuff. And when you go and bombastic show, you go to a Kiss concert, what's the most exciting thing in your rock and roll fanhood other than being in the audience, having a good time? You hear they're playing Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll over the PA, and then it shuts down and the lights go out and you hear that low rumble bass, and you know what's going to happen next. You know exactly, and you just start freaking out, and you just hear that, all right, Los Angeles, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss, and the stage blows up and the curtains fall. Dude, that's like the best rock and roll of your life, man. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
If you have any eyebrows after you're done watching Kiss, you didn't get close enough to the flames, man, right?
Right, and ladies, check the inside of your bras because you probably have some confetti in there.
So cool, man. By the way, folks, you're listening to Rock Stories with the Brummster here at the Rock Stories with the Brummster YouTube channel. From the fans' perspective, your favorite tales of rock and roll, your favorite concert memories, your favorite music memories. And today, Joey Alessi, he is the drummer for Aerosmith tribute band Sweet Emotionz, opening up on May 2nd for Fast Times at the Visalia Fox Theater. Again, go to foxvisalia.org and get your tickets today. How long have you been playing this Kiss phenomenon got you into rock and roll, moved you away from maybe the Jackson 5 into another realm, if you will. But what got you to start? You're a drummer, man, and to play Aerosmith, their tribute band with their tribute band. You've got to be a good drummer. You've got to have those licks. How did you get into music? Were you always musical?
Well, my father played big band jazz. He played sax, so he played all that Glenn Miller stuff, and so I was around that. And he wanted his son to play a woodwind or a brass instrument. There was no way any son of his was going to be a drummer. So he put a clarinet in my face, and I took lessons. And like every other kid in school, you played in you started in the fourth grade, and you started learning your instrument, then you went into high school, the marching band, you did field shows, you did parades, but my love was always drums, and so, my father, God bless him, he would always make sure I practiced all my clarinet scales for an hour after I did my homework, and after I finished those clarinet scales, which I hated, I hightailed over to my buddy's house, where I got behind his drum set and taught myself how to play, and I just got into a little rock band playing drums, just kind of learning as I went.
Now that clarinet, did that help you musically to know where did that come from? You said you taught yourself how to play the drums. Did you kind of learn music, or is it just something that you learned by ear?
Yeah, it was just something. It was weird. I kind of naturally knew how. I remember when I listened, I would just spin Kiss. I would spin Kiss records, just wanting to be a rock and roller of some sort. And just by tapping along with the songs every day, all day, just whenever I could. My first little actual social boy-girl party was when I was in the fifth grade. And there was a junior high band there that played some rock and roll, and there was a drum set there. And when they were done with their set, I had asked the drummer if it was okay if I sat behind the drums. I never sat behind the drums really before, and he said sure. And so I got behind, and instantly I played just like automatically knew, and I played rock and roll all night, just that beginning, and I knew how to play it. I just knew how. And I remember telling myself, "Wow, I know how to play drums. All right, I'm a drummer."
That was such a trip.
Yeah. So we could thank Peter Criss, I guess, because without Peter Criss and me listening to all those Kiss songs that I still love to this day, I mean that's really kind of how I got the feel and of drums, just tapping along to the Kiss album.
What trips me out, Joey, is how it's almost like you already knew it. Like you didn't have it yet. You were, it was the progression of listening to Kiss all the time and tapping along with it, not even realizing kind of that's what you were doing. You're just rocking out. And you got up there behind that drum set and instinctively it just kind of came through in a sense, almost like it was your destiny, huh?
Like it was yesterday. I mean, I'm sitting behind my drums right now, holding the phone with one hand. I got a stick in the other hand. And I can remember going to that party, just like that, and it just came out.
It's in there already. It's kind of like when an artist takes a lump of clay, they already they already know like that it's not clay or these people that are, they carve out the big redwood tree trunk and they turn it into a big giant, bear or something. It's like,
yeah.
Like they already know that's the drummer was already there in the clay, right?
Exactly like that. Yeah, they look at that clay and they see the bear. Exactly like that. Then the drummer, I'm the drummer in the clay.
That is tight.
It's me.
The Kiss aspect of it, that opens up, like you mentioned, going to the shows, that opens up just a whole can of worms because now you have this cacophony of many other bands that are on AM and then FM radio alongside Kiss, bands opening up and touring with Kiss. I bet you're a big fan of Rush, I'm guessing, with Neil Peart.
Oh, yeah, I am. I'm such a huge fan of Rush, and I keep trying to talk my wife into being one too. I guess she just don't get them. But yeah, I mean, how as a drummer, I mean, my God, as a drummer, how could you not just be in awe of all that genius that's going on?
Did you know that, by the way, I only know this. I say it like it's coming from some place of authority. Like, did you know? did you know what I know? No, I want to share what I learned. You probably already know it. But I watched the Rush special a couple years back on Netflix before Neil Peart died, and rest in peace. And they showed that he actually stopped playing drums for like a year or whatever it was, and he went to this musical drum expert that's like a genius in it and learned a different way to drum and taught himself to drum all over again this new way. It was
more of a jazz. It was a jazz approach. So he started holding the stick in the traditional manner, right? The way the jazz guys would and he became it took his discipline to a ridiculous level.
Right. Exactly. Yes. That's exactly it.
He wasn't badass enough. Then he had to go and do that.
It's enough to say I'm already at the top of my craft doing it the way I do it. Everybody else out there should be, redoing their craft to be like mine. I'm at the top. No. He's so humble. He says, you know what? I'm not as good as I could be. And what kind of patience does it take to destroy what you've built up just to create something else? That guy's got to have some confidence in himself to know that he could do that, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah, and God bless Geddy and Alex for just taking a couple steps back and going, do what you need to do. You're our boy, so that between the three of them, I mean, the three of them is magic. You know, when a group of people, when a group gets together and it's just magic and there's no explaining it. Like the Police have that. You know, Zeppelin definitely had that. Rush. You know, there's bands that they get together and there is something swirling around throughout them that it's just it's magic with those particular people.
Yeah, kind of like ZZ Top. My stepdad always said, you know, how does a 3-person band get up there and rock like that? You know?
Seriously, yeah, I know it, and so yeah, it's just trying to be the best you can be, but having that magic with people. That's why I'm glad I got the people I've got in my band now. Because although we're emulating a different band and we're not writing the music, we're playing Aerosmith stuff, but there's still a magic between us. There's still a magic between us, although we're copying other people's music. That we just get down and just start playing the Aerosmith stuff, and it just feels so good. It just feels so good. And then I take a page from my Kiss upbringing. I go, well, you know what? Doc McGee said anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So, you know, let's just go big. And so I remember this last show we did, we played the song Pink. And during Pink, we let loose with a couple hundred, you know, hot pink balloons from the ceiling onto the audience. And it was a blast, man. It was really cool.
So it's more than music. It's an experience what you guys are doing, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're not kids up there, you know. I may be the oldest member of the band, you know, but I was, you know, mid 50s and I'm 60, and you know, we're not just kids. We know what to do. You know, we know what to do, and this group of guys I have now, so I'm just going to give a shout out to them because they're amazing. As Steven Tyler, we got the incredible Troy Van Ruy. As Brad Whitford, we've got the incredible Alan Everard. Joe Perry, oh my God, David Johnson, he's amazing. And Joe Alfaro is our Tom Hamilton. And these guys that I've got in this band with me now I'm lucky to have them. I'm thankful to have this group of people. And if you come out and check us out, you'll see what I mean. I mean, it's just one good time.
Yeah, guys, get tickets. I've been to the Fast Time show before. Brummster approved. It's so awesome. So check it out. Fast Times, opening up for Fast Times, the Aerosmith tribute band, Sweet Emotionz with the Z. Joey Alessi on the drums for Sweet Emotionz. And you can get tickets for May 2nd, coming up Saturday, May 2nd. Get in there. 7:15 is when the show starts, but I'd say get there about 6:30. Get settled in, get you something to drink, get some popcorn, get some merch, get in there, bring your family, bring your friends, go to foxvisalia.org and get tickets today. I'm telling you, it's going to be a blast. As much fun as it was to see Fast Times with the Depeche Mode tribute band, Aerosmith, it was one of the best concerts I ever saw when I saw Aerosmith. But you opened up. I gotta pick your brain about this, Joey. So you opened up being a huge Kiss fan and seeing Kiss and opening up the album and just, you know, first song you ever played on the drums is Rock and Roll All Night, and that's just from just osmosis of tapping to it and rocking to it. You would never even really officially learn to do the drums. But stage presence and these Fast Time shows are full of stage presence, full of entertainment, full of eye candy. Like you said, when you did Pink, all the pink balloons come down. It's a blast. But sometimes when you go and you see, you know, the band like Aerosmith and Kiss, I saw Aerosmith and Kiss, and they let Kiss open up for Aerosmith. And Aerosmith is worthy of being the headliner. Even Kiss understood that. Everyone understands it. Aerosmith is the top. As badass as Kiss is, Aerosmith is the top of that ticket. It's going to be the headliner. But they should have thought about this. Anytime Kiss is fire and flames and just all the senses, when Kiss was done, everyone sat down. Aerosmith came out, and people didn't even get up out of their seats at the Save Mart Center because their senses were so overwhelmed from Kiss. So again, Kiss deserves to, or Aerosmith deserves to have Kiss open up for them and not be the headliner. It could be either way, but I get why Aerosmith is the headliner. But somebody should have thought of that all of our senses are going to be dulled by the time Aerosmith comes on. And it's as rocking as Aerosmith was, that concert was a nap fest because everyone was just completely spent emotionally from all the fire and flames and everything going on during Kiss. Picking your brain, do you agree? Or, I mean, I don't know. Have you?
Yeah, of course, nobody can go on after this. Listen, everybody, when it comes to live shows, every other band goes under the boot. They just do. And I was at that show here in San Bernardino, and actually that tour, they alternated headlining. They alternated. One day Kiss would go on first, another day Aerosmith would go on first. So it wasn't always, Kiss going on first, then Aerosmith. But the one I saw, that's how it was. Kiss went on first. And I just remember feeling sorry for Aerosmith. Like, I'm a huge Aerosmith fan, but I mean, make no mistake, I was there to see Kiss. I remember I got to the parking lot with a big Kiss flag, and I shoved it in the ground like I was a man landing on the moon, claiming this territory as Kiss territory. You know what I mean? I'm so stupid. But I was at that show. Kiss went on, and it was even a scaled down Kiss show. It wasn't even a full blown. It was scaled down, but even the most scaled down Kiss show is bigger than the biggest of anybody else's show. So when Aerosmith came out, and God bless them, I mean, they rocked hard. I remember they opened up with "Let the Music Do the Talking," and they rocked hard. And you just, nobody should go on after Kiss. Nobody. I mean, no matter who you are, you just be the first band and be happy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you saw him at San Bernardino for the same tour, and you saw what I'm talking about. You felt what I'm talking about. I felt sorry.
Uh-huh.
I was like, Aerosmith deserves to be the headliner here. They do. They deserve it. They've got the credence to be up there. Yet somebody should be smart enough to know you can't go on after Kiss. You just can't do it.
Well, I think they know now.
I mean, I saw Ted Nugent in Kiss, and Ted was smart enough to be the opener,
Yep, I saw that show too. I just saw Ted Nugent last week, and I was at an Arizona bike week. I ride a Harley, and me and my buddy rode out there. We actually had my Aerosmith singer, Troy Van Leeuwen. He doesn't ride, but we had him drive out there and meet us out there so we could just kind of cause a ruckus for a week together. And Ted Nugent was one of the bands that played. We just saw him. He is every bit as great as he ever was, and I didn't realize he's 79 years old. He's one year south of 80. And you would never know it looking at him. You would know he's up there just like he's always been, just incredible. It was incredible. Yeah, and this was just last weekend.
Yeah, the only thing he can't do now is he can't like jump off of giant 20-foot speakers and swing around.
Yeah, right.
There's certain things he can't do, but at the end of the day,
With that loincloth.
Dude,
you can't rock that loincloth anymore with a raccoon tail and do all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
He is badass, and you ain't lying. He's the new Dick Clark. He's gonna live forever.
He looked amazing when he said, "Oh, I'm 79 years old." I mean, he's been around. I remember when he was around, but I never really put it together because he looked so good that you didn't put that number with him when you're watching him on stage last week. You were just looking at Ted Nugent. Not an older version of Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent. And it was amazing.
Dude, when we were kids, if somebody was 79 years old, they didn't look like that at all.
No, they did not look like that. Yeah, but now, I mean, look at, you got Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley looks great. You know, he's up there, it's like your mid to upper 70s now is like the new like 40s. You know, it's a trip.
It makes me want to have a backstrap. It makes me want to have a backstrap of whatever he went and shot last week, because it's keeping him alive and looking that good. Oh my God.
He was saying he's teaching the virtues of making elk a 5-course meal. You know, whatever he's doing, it is working for him. So God bless him. So
what do you like playing on the drums mostly? What's your favorite thing to play? What do you like doing? What makes you happy? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, really, this Aerosmith stuff. I mean, I'm a drummer, and of course, I could just play around the kit and come up with beats and just noodle around, and that's always fun. But I remember when I had decided, man, this tribute band thing is really cool, because I was going to all these tribute shows, as an audience member. I hate to say fan. I'm just going to go on a side note for a minute. Listen, all you tribute guys out there, all you guys, I know, upper level tribute, whatever, stop calling your audience members my fans. We're not the real band. Right? We're guys pretending to be the real band. People that come to see us, they're fans of Aerosmith. They're fans of Led Zeppelin. They're not necessarily fans of Sweet Emotionz. They're Aerosmith fans. So to be so pretentious as to say, "Oh, to all our fans," just stop. We're actors playing a role as somebody else.
Right.
So now that I got off my soapbox with that, I call all of our audience members that people come to see us our friends, because that's what they are. We're all just friends. We're all just friends that dig Aerosmith. The only difference is I'm up on stage playing it. A lot of times I'm down in the audience watching it. I'll go to a good Aerosmith tribute show. There's a handful of Aerosmith tributes that are really good, that have my respect. I'm going to give a shout out to one of them. My very favorite Aerosmith tribute is a group of girls called the Ragdolls. These girls are phenomenal. Phenomenal. I will not miss them ever. I'll never miss it. If they're anywhere close, I'm going to go see them as an Aerosmith fan, because I know they're going to deliver good Aerosmith music.
That sounds fun. That sounds freaking fun, man.
They are so great. If you ever get a chance, anyone out there listening, if you ever get a chance, if the Ragdolls are within, I don't know how far you're willing to drive for a kick-ass time, but go see Ragdolls. Go see them. They're absolutely amazing. And I'm not for this, nonsense of, I'm not going to promote somebody else's band. I'm going to give respect where it's due. Yeah, I'm in an Aerosmith band. I think we're pretty good. But there's other bands that are good too. And I highly recommend these girls. They're phenomenal.
Ragdolls. So anyways, Ragdolls. The ladies know how to rock. That's so cool. God,
and they're consistently great. Like every time I see them, they are better than most dude. I can even say all dude Aerosmith tributes. Like I'll go see them before. Yeah, I'll go see them before I'll go see really any other Aerosmith tribute. And we've become friends, and I'm not just saying this because they're my friends, because I started out going to see them just going, man, these girls are great. But I'm glad to call them my friends now, and I'm gonna give them a shout out whenever I can, because they deserve it. They work for it. They work hard, and they deserve it. So go check them out if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, tribute bands are more than just it's like you said, you're actors, but what do actors do? They try to elicit feelings and emotions in someone. It's what I do when I'm DJing. I'm not going around like, hey, the Brummster here, when I'm going to the store shopping or whatever. I'm a normal person. But when I'm in this spot, I'm playing a character. Now, the good news is the character is, part of me. So I am kind of that character. But at the end of the day, I'm putting on a show. I'm trying to create an experience for the audience so they have So they have the feelings, so they know what it's like, so they can feel, you know, what they want to feel. They want to get back into a time machine and go, what do I remember when that song came on when I was, you know, this age or that age, or the first time I went and saw that concert. And they have the feeling that so it's almost like we're drug dealers. We're giving people a feeling. We're giving people an experience, right?
It's so visceral. I mean, how a song could even evoke a scent, like a smell, you know, like a time where you were. Yeah, it's just crazy. So back to what when I started thinking about tributing, because like I was saying before, I was going to see all these great bands, and I thought, you know what, I'm not really doing anything musically right now. I mean, what I want to be in a tribute band, and so I started thinking, all right, what band do I want to be in a tribute band with? And I'm thinking, and some of the bands I would really like to do, I'm like, well, you know, they're not that well known. So I had some criteria. The first criteria was they had to be globally loved universally, you know, where everybody loves this band, or at least 99.999% of the population loves this particular band. Like Zeppelin is in that category, you know. So anyways, okay, what's another criteria? Well, they have to have enough hits to sustain a couple-hour show, a 2-hour show. They have to have enough big hits. And so I'm starting to think, well, first I started thinking, maybe Cheap Trick, you know. But then I thought, well, yeah, Cheap Trick's cool, but 2 hours, do I know 2 hours worth of really Cheap Trick hits? I mean, I know a lot of Cheap Trick, but how, you know, so I started thinking, and then I was just at home, and I was behind the drums, and I'm just going to start playing to some bands. So I took my phone, I took a shot at Jack. I had some Jack Daniels, and I put on a Aerosmith Rocks. I put Rocks on, and I started jamming the Rocks. I was just having, by myself, the time of my life in my own house alone, you know, just playing to Rocks. I mean, when Last Child came out, and I was doing that groove, it was like just a light went off. I was like, duh, it's got to be Aerosmith. They check every box. Pretty much everyone on the planet loves them. They have enough hits to fill days, let alone 2 hours. And from the early classics, like you could put in one Aerosmith show, you could throw in something like Mama Kin and Last Child or Back in the Saddle, but then you could throw in Love in an Elevator, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Jaded, and it all works together, and it brings these different facets of Aerosmith fans together. We started out just playing the cool classics, and it was cool. But people kept asking, "Do you play I Don't Want to Miss a Thing?" No, we don't play that. Do you play Love in an Elevator? Nah, we just kind of. So then we started adding these. But I remember the first one we added was Love in an Elevator, and the very first time we unleashed Love in an Elevator in a live setting, that's when it blew up. Not when we played Toys in the Attic for my people, not when we played Mama Kin or Nobody's Fault, but when we played Love in an Elevator. Now it turned into a party. And so, okay, so then we started adding some of these newer MTV like mega hits. We added Dude Looks Like a Lady. We added Crying. We added I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, What It Takes, like all these, Pink. And now it's such a great mix of classic and mega hit. It's just a great night of Aerosmith. So you should come. You should come and check it out.
And everybody sings along. You picked the perfect band to do a tribute for when you got behind, had a shot of Jack and got behind your drums and said, I'm just going to play some and see what inspires me. And it hits you. It hits you like a ton of bricks, man. Aerosmith, what a perfect tribute band. Everybody from, the boomers, Gen X's kids, you know what I mean?
Millennials.
Yeah.
Millennials, I don't want to close my eyes, right? They know the Armageddon song, right?
Right.
And it's such a perfect combination of secret sauce, I really stumbled upon something great with this Aerosmith band, and I'm having the time of my life with it.
You all should come check it out. Aerosmith tribute band drummer Joey Alessi with us. Aerosmith tribute band Sweet Emotionz with a Z. Check them out on Facebook. Opening up for Fast Times. It's a fun show, a Fast Times 80s show. Fast Times being the resident band at the Whiskey A Go-Go, so they are phenomenal. I took my son and my wife to see him a couple years ago. Totally kicked ass, and they're going to do a great job with Sweet Emotionz, again, with Joey Alessi on the drums. Saturday, May 2nd, 7:15. Get your tickets now at foxvisalia.org. That's foxvisalia.org. I know you've done these shows like at the Whiskey, I'm presuming as well, but these Fox Theater shows are perfect as well, because Fox Theater had different venues all around where they've kept the Fox Theater venue kind of old-fashioned like it used to be. The feel is so intimate in there to where, you really have a good time. Like, it's not like you're sitting in Staples Center, or I'm dating myself, whatever, Crypto Arena or whatever, and it's like, I can hear it, but no, you're right there rocking with people right next to you. The balcony, even if you're in the balcony, you've got a killer seat at the Fox Theater, right?
Well, this is going to be our first time there, so we are very excited about it. And I'll tell you, we live close enough to Southern California area where we could play, pack up, and leave and go home. But we got an Airbnb there because I'm not missing Fast Times. I'm not going to pack up and leave because so I can get home at a decent hour. I'm staying the night because when we're done, we're out there in the audience having a cocktail and dancing our asses off to my other favorite band, Fast Times. I'm going to see Fast Times. I'm just lucky enough to be able to play, before them. so yeah, we're going to be out there all night. We're going to be playing, and then we're going to be rocking in the audience.
That's awesome. You guys got to check it out, man. It's so much fun. Again, Fast Times, the show they put on. They've got the whole Fast Times at Ridgemont High vibe going on with the costumes, but they play a mix of, you'll hear AC/DC. It is awesome. it really does run the gamut. Have you ever met anybody from Aerosmith before?
No. I've never had the pleasure of meeting any of those guys.
Neither have I, by the way. I interviewed Gene Simmons, and I met Ted and interviewed Ted back when I was on the air at the Fox, when I had before I got a real job, and of course doing the podcast here. But that's what happened to all of us DJs. We used to go backstage and go to all those concerts, man. But I never got to meet. I saw Aerosmith, like I mentioned, but I've never got to meet Aerosmith. But just to get to play a part in that soundtrack of our lives, like, it really does run the gamut. Right. Everybody can sing along with it. Nobody's gonna be in a bad spot. Everybody can have fun with it.
You're going to be hard pressed to find anybody at one of our shows that's going to hear "Dream On" and not know it. That's one of those songs. Who on the planet can't sing along with "Dream On"? Right? That's just one of those. That's like Aerosmith's "Stairway to Heaven" or "Freebird." That's Aerosmith's thing. So whenever we play, and I'm trying to figure out a set list, I know there's 3 songs that automatically have to go on, no matter what. That's "Dream On," "Walk This Way," and "Sweet Emotion." And then I start filling in the blanks from there. We've got an hour to play. what are we going to put on? But those three are always, they go on the list first because there's no way we could ever do a show without those three.
I wonder how they're not on tour anymore, but is that common? Like, because there's so many songs to choose from. You have to kind of have your core three, and then, God, it must be so difficult. Like, oh man, we could totally include that one, but we don't have time. Or
especially songs you love to play. Like for this show, I put out one set list. Well, first of all, I put on one set list that was all of their mega hits because I thought, okay, the Fast Times crowd, what Aerosmith songs are going to go good with the Fast. And so I kind of, aside from Sweet Emotion, Dream On, and Walk This Way, everything else was like, MTV mega hits. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, well, wait a minute now. The Fast Times crowd, that's me. I'm the Fast Times crowd anyway. So what would I like to hear? I would like to hear all this, but I'm not going to sit here and think that they're not going to want to hear Same Old Song and Dance, or they're not going to want to hear Draw the Line, So I'm writing out the set list, and I remember I had my singer on the phone with me, and it was like, what do we leave out? We have so many great. And I said, well, do we leave out Eat the Rich, or do we leave out Dude Looks Like a Lady? I mean, do we leave out Toys? It was so hard. But I think we really came up. We've only got an hour to play. So we really had to whittle it down to just an hour's worth of music. And I think we've got a good representation in this hour of I call it really the cream of the crop of what we do. Like these songs are the songs that are really, really the top of the Aerosmith food chain for everybody involved. So we're really excited about this show. It's 2 weeks away, and I really can't wait. It's going to be just awesome.
What's your favorite Aerosmith song personally that like this is the Aerosmith song? Play it or not play it, just that you love just to rock out to, man, your favorite.
Oh, man, well, it seems to change, but one song that's always been consistent with that is Last Child. I mean, that groove, just something about that groove. And as a drummer, just that whole down, 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 down. And it's just so gritty and nasty and wonderful. Take me down to the South Tallahassee. That song is just dripping with, I don't even know what the word is, but it's such a great song.
Attitude, man. It's got some attitude.
Swagger. I mean, whatever the word is, swagger, bravado, just it's sexiness. It's sexy. Just that riff alone. And you know what? I don't know if you know, but a lot of those really cool songs. I mean, God bless Joe Perry. He's the guitar hero of Aerosmith. But people tend to look away and not give Brad Whitford the credit that he's due. Brad Whitford wrote Last Child. All the really cool bitchin' Aerosmith songs. Well, they're all really cool and bitchin', but like the super cool ones, like Last Child. Brad Whitford penned that. He wrote Nobody's Fault off rock. He wrote Kings and Queens. Like all those songs, that's all Brad Whitford. So he deserves credit that he doesn't really get as much as Joe does, as far as a guitar player and a songwriter.
Much more of an equal footing, Aerosmith, even though Joe and Steven Tyler are the stars of the band, they really have a lot of respect for one another as far as treating each other as equals. But when it comes to writing music and contributing to the success of the band, it's not like Joe and Steven doing it all and everyone else just learns to play it. Brad Whitford actually wrote some of the best songs, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of those songs that a lot of people say, oh, that's my favorite song, or that's my favorite. I don't know how many people had come up to say, hey, you guys do Kings and Queens? Yeah, we do Kings and Queens. Oh, that's my favorite song. Well, Brad Whitford. Hey, you guys do Nobody's Fault? I bet you don't, man. Nobody. Oh, yeah, we do. We do Nobody's Fault. Oh, that's my favorite. Well, it's Brad Whitford again. So he wrote a lot of people's favorite songs.
I just listened to Joe Rogan yesterday, finished listening to John Fogerty on there. And John Fogerty was talking about CCR in the beginning, and his other bandmates would, like, they're all supposed to be contributing songs. And every week he comes in and he's like, okay, you've got something? And they're all, no, not this week. And but I think of Ross Valerie on the bass for Journey. Like, how much was he really contributing, right?
Right. Well, I mean, he looks really good. So yeah, he had that look. So if he could play bass, but he had a great Journey look. Journey was a great band because they were like that bridge, between, 80s pop, but they had that 70s, like, cool stoner vibe to them, and Ross Valerie had that look for sure.
with the stash, man. When you're talking, the Hall and Oates stash.
The Doobie Brothers.
There you go. When you're talking about your favorite Aerosmith songs, I think of my very favorite song from Aerosmith is not a song that ever got any radio time at all, really. It's Heart's Done Time off of the Permanent Vacation album. And everybody thinks of the three hits, Ragdoll, Angel, and Dude Looks Like a Lady off of that album, but Heart's Done Time, holy shit. Wow.
The thing is that he's a lesser known Aerosmith. If anybody, spin the whole album. Spin the whole album, and you're just going to be blown away. I mean, there's life beyond Dude Looks Like a Lady.
Yeah, when I was a kid, albums, tapes, it was a hassle to sit there and just go back to the single that you wanted to hear again and again. I mean, sometimes we would do it, because, I want to hear that again. I got my John Mellencamp tape in. I want to hear Pink Houses for the 100th time. I love it. But eventually, at some point...
If you had an 8-track, if you had an 8-track player, it was even more difficult, man.
Right. You learn to just let it ride, man. You just learn to play it all the way through. And as fans, we didn't matter if we had ADD. We just had.
And it didn't matter that when the track when the song wasn't done, but it clicked to the next track, how it kind of rewound a little bit, so you got to hear a part over again. Now coming in now to finish off the song on the next track of the 8-track.
See, this is history. This is living history right here. We live in a society where it's just so instantaneous on our phones now. This takes us back to the rotary phone days, man. Like this.
Oh man, but it was good stuff though. I mean, the stuff that's embedded in your brain. I had Rock and Roll Over on 8-track, and I remember the song "Love 'Em, Leave 'Em," and I would listen to it. And there's a part right before the solo where Gene goes, "Love 'em, leave 'em, yeah," and then it fades out, then it clicks, comes back in, "Love 'em, leave 'em, yeah." Great, man. now, kids these days.
You ever talk to my buddy Don, the Sloppy Demon?
I love Don.
Yeah.
I love Don. Don is one of my favorite humans on the planet. Yeah.
Yeah. Don
Gibbons. If you're out there, Don Gibbons, like a brother, my brother.
Shout out Don, man. Had Don one time on Rock Stories with the Brummster. He did the podcast, and he told some cool stories because he's a police officer, but he did security for a lot of cool artists and Rolling Stones front stage. A lot of cool stories. Check it out. Past episode, Don Gibbons on Rock Stories with the Brummster. And I got him, man. He was talking about Metallica. And I said, God, I feel so bad for James Hetfield having to overcome his Tourette syndrome. And he thought I was serious. I was just kidding, because he's all, yeah. Like, it made me think of that when you just mentioned Gene Simmons with the little shout out at the end.
Well, let me tell you something about Don. Don is one of the individuals on this earth that has a heart that is pure love, pure gold.
Yes.
Don is pure gold. He came to a birthday party of mine once, and he hand painted me this painting of Gene that was so incredible. And throughout the years, he's given me these wonderful Kiss collectible items. Last year I was working out of town. I had an assignment for like 4 months out of town. And while I was gone, my house got broken into. And I had a pretty fun little Kiss room, with some really cool stuff. And it all got stolen along with my entire house. Like I had my drum kit got stolen. I had a couple dirt bikes. Yeah, I had a KX450. Anyways, they cleaned me out. So Don, with his heart of gold, like for Christmas, for my birthday, has been gifting me these great, just awesome Kiss collectibles that now I have a couple Kiss things again now, thanks to him, and I absolutely love that guy.
How appropriate, man! How appropriate. Yeah. A sloppy demon hooking you up. That's beautiful. Love you, Don. You rock. I'm Facebook friends with him, and his memes are off the charts. They're every now and again I'll get a meme. I just, oh my God, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Hopefully he's going to come to this show, because I know he's real good friends with Fast Times, and he's good friends with us as well. So I'm hoping to see him. And when we're done with this podcast, I think I'm going to shoot him a message and see if he's going. I really would like to be in the audience with him watching Fast Times together.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys should join the crew. Aerosmith tribute band, Sweet Emotionz, drummer Joey Alessi here on Rock Stories with the Brummster, here with us today, sharing his favorite rock memories, music memories, love of rock, love of music. And of course, they picked the perfect band to do a tribute for. Aerosmith opening up for Fast Times, Sweet Emotionz, Aerosmith tribute band. Saturday, May 2nd, 7:15 is when it starts. I'd say get there about 6:30. Get your tickets now, foxvisalia.org. That's foxvisalia.org. At the Visalia Fox Theater. It's going to be a blast. Gateway to the giant sequoias is Visalia. Also, if you love good beer, we have the Beer District over on Main Street. Brew Bakers, Long Shot, Barrel House, you name it. Simply Brewing, Salty Walrus. We've got all kinds of good entertainment and food. Downtown Visalia is a great place to be. So not only are you going to have amazing entertainment at the Visalia Fox Theater with Sweet Emotionz and Fast Times, but also as well, make it a whole night. Get a hotel, get an Airbnb, have a good time. It's going to be a blast. May 2nd here in Visalia. Have you ever played Visalia before at all, or is this your first time?
No, this is our first time, but back up a second. Did you say Salty Walrus?
Salty Walrus.
That sounds like something I need to look up in the Urban Dictionary.
I'm telling you, yeah, it's a brewery called Salty Walrus, and my wife and I, we love beer, and so oftentimes we'll do a little spoonerism and we mess up, and we've had a couple by then, and we call it the Walty Saurus. But yeah, salty Walrus. It's killer.
That's an interesting thing. Say that in the Urban Dictionary. I bet you something really, really interesting comes up.
Right. It's like when I found out what Steely Dan was. That when I found out that it was really just a English word for a dildo. I had no idea. Yeah. I hadn't. Get yourself.
I like them even better now.
The Steely Dan.
Really? Yeah, now I have a newfound respect and appreciation for them.
I'm telling you, Blackjack, do it again, man. Do it as many times as you need.
Absolutely. Oh, man. That's great. but yeah, no, I've never played Visalia before. I've only actually visited Visalia only once, and that was to go mountain biking like in the Sequoias, and that was maybe 20 years ago.
Nice.
So I've driven past it on my way up north, but I've never gone through it. I've never stopped in and visited. I have some friends there. So if you're listening, Matt and Jody, I know you're coming to the show. I can't wait to see you. It's been a while, and we're going to have a good time because as soon as we're done, me and you guys are going to be just rocking the fast time. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, my friends.
And after that, everyone's going to head down to the Salty Walrus.
We're going to find out what it's really about.
V-Town is what my friend Peace Train Wayne, old DJ friend, rest in peace, Peace Train. He passed away a few years ago. But he was a DJ at the Fox. I was afternoon drive for Classic Rock 95.7 The Fox in Fresno back in 99 and 2000. And he used to come pick me up at 5 o'clock. He'd hear my show would be over, and he'd be out there with a hooter already rolled. And we'd have that, and we'd go over and watch a Fresno Grizzly game or whatever back then. But what a cool dude. What a cool dude. But he used to call it V-Town. He'd be like, "You're going to V-Town, huh? V-Town." So, well,
we can't wait. It's going to be great, man. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I've got another Kiss story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so, man. Yeah, no worries.
So I don't know if you remember the morning radio show, the Mark and Brian show.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, right. So Mark and Brian. So it became a habit for me to call maybe once a week and just talk about how bitchin' Kiss is. No other reason, just how bitchin' Kiss is. So much so that I became, they just started calling me, "We got Joey, the ultimate Kiss fan, on the phone." And so I would call and just talk about Kiss all the time. Well, one time I called just to tell them how great Kiss was. And they said, "Well, you know what? We've got them coming in for an interview. So mark your calendars. So you're gonna come in and meet your heroes." And oh man. So I told him, I go, "You know what? I've got Gene Simmons' autograph tattoo on my arm, and I've got a Kiss Rock and Roll Over tattoo. If I can get, Paul Stanley's autograph and whoever, it was only going to be Gene and Paul coming in." So they go, "Well, we'll have a tattoo artist here, and after you get after Paul signs your arm, we'll watch you right before the tattoo has a chance to drip." And so, all right. So it came down to the day, and I went, and Kiss was doing their interview, and then I got to say my piece with him, and Paul signs my arm, and I get it tattooed, and then Paul gives me. He goes, "Well, what show are you going to, Joey?" I said, "Well, I'm going to 2 shows. I'm going to Devore, San Bernardino, and I'm going to Anaheim." He gives me front row tickets and backstage passes to both shows.
Oh, hell yeah!
So now I go to the show. I'm at the San Bernardino one, and I go backstage. And I've never been backstage at a major. Yeah, I mean, like Kiss is huge. I've never been backstage at a band like this before. So I'm just kind of hanging out, and I see Paul. Paul is over there kind of sitting on a counter, And I remember it clearly. He was just wearing some overalls with no shirt and like a Penske Racing baseball cap. And I walk over, and I just kind of plop up onto the counter next to him. And he remembered me, Well, it was just a couple of days ago I got the tattoo. But he goes, "You all right, Joey? Are you having a good time?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "You know what, man? Is Ace and Peter around? Because, now I've got yours and Gene's signature tattooed on my arm. And if I can get Ace and Peter's there, I'd be done." And he looked at me, and you could tell he felt a little sorry. And he goes, "Well, Ace and Peter don't really hang out after the show. They kind of get right into the car and leave. And I could tell he felt bad the way he was saying it, and I just look at him and I go, it's cool, man. You know what? I've got Lennon and McCartney. Who needs George and Ringo?
Nice. Nice.
You got a smile on his face. It's all good, man.
That's a good memory.
Yeah, so that was a great. That's a great memory I have. I'll never forget that.
And the look on his face, you could feel the disappointment in his fellow bandmates who, right. Well, and there was a time where they didn't have to just be employees, and they chose to leave Kiss, if I remember correctly. Or maybe it was just part of the deal.
Well, it depends on who you believe. It just depends on who. There's been 4 books written, and there's been 4 different stories. So who really knows? But I know at that time, at that point in time, it was the farewell tour. It was the farewell tour. Well, the first farewell tour. That ended up just being farewell to Ace and Peter. But yeah, at that point in time, I couldn't really see the cracks in the band. But when Paul looked so like he had to tell me that my heroes didn't hang out, and he felt so bad, and I just wanted to come up with something that would kind of cheer him up, put a smile on his face, and and it worked. And it was a fun time backstage at a Kiss show. It wasn't what I expected, but they were older by that time, and it was just a lot of really good food.
My favorite liner that I still have recorded somewhere is, I actually have the reel-to-reel of my interview with Gene Simmons and the reel-to-reel tape. And recorded somewhere, I have his little liner he did where you're rocking with Neil, the Brummster, a very powerful and attractive man. And I just, every time I hear that, it just makes me chuckle because and Paul, they understood the importance of how they were making people feel. The old saying that people don't remember you, they remember how you made them feel. And they made you feel amazing, didn't they?
They made me feel, when I was getting that tattoo on the Mark and Brian show live on the air, and it went to a commercial, and the guy's like, into my arm, Paul came up to me and he expressed his gratitude to me for being that fan. It really made me feel really good. Like, oh, Paul, you don't understand, but he does understand because he's heard the story a million times about being the soundtrack of someone's life, right? But I'm a drummer because of Kiss. You guys magically put this rock and roll juice in me, and I'm a product of your band. I'm a product of Kiss. Now, yeah, I'm in an Aerosmith tribute band, but I only because too, I didn't think I could really do Kiss justice as a tribute band. Like I wouldn't want to do a Kiss tribute unless I could blow shit up, unless I could have that stage and pull off that amazing stage show. And so Kiss was kind of off the table with me because I have too much respect to not do it 100% right. And I knew I could do Aerosmith 100% right. I knew that would be a much easier sell.
Not just on the pyrotechnics alone, man. Like the cost of doing it the right way so everybody gets the gist that, oh yeah, that could be Kiss up there. Like you've got to have this, everyone knows you're not Aerosmith, but you guys do it justice, the tribute justice, so people don't sit there and go, oh, they're not Aerosmith. You know what I mean? It doesn't even cross their mind. They're rocking with you like you're Aerosmith because you do it justice. But yeah, without all the fire and the flames and the stage and everything that Kiss has, because Kiss, I've told people this before. I mean, yes, amazing music just on the audio alone. Like you said, rocking, you're sitting there just tapping along, and before you know it, it's, you're playing rock and roll all night on the drums, and you're like, oh, I guess I can drum. Like, so the music itself without all the fire and the flames was amazing enough. But like that's part of the whole thing, is they're not just there, they're entertainers. They're not just there to play the music, they're there to put on a show. And I would say Kiss.
Right. Well, they've always said, we became the band that we always wanted to see. We were disappointed in live acts at the time.
Right.
We felt that people weren't getting their money's worth. So we stepped out of the audience and got on stage and became the band that we would pay money to go see.
That's real right there. That's real.
Yeah. Well, much respect to them. But back to Aerosmith. I mean, all we really, and that's the tribute bands in general. Like a good tribute band should make you feel like you are watching the actual band. There's tribute bands, and that's kind of what we try to do. We try to recreate the look. We try to recreate, musically, note for note. We pay very much attention to detail. We're not just phoning it in. But I've seen there's bands out there like Queen Nation. You think you're seeing Queen. You're out there and you're like, that's Queen up on stage. Honest to God, that's Queen. There's bands like, Led Zeppelin. Like, I'm actually seeing Led Zeppelin, because not only do they respect it enough to actually look like the band, but they sound dead on. A good friend of mine, Bonfire, a Bon Scott era AC/DC band, when he puts on the wig and blacks out his tooth, he gets on stage, he is Bon Scott from the Dead.
Right on.
So, yeah. So a good tribute band is more than just a group of guys up there jamming the songs to a particular band that they claim to be tributing. To me, that's a cover band. You're covering Aerosmith. If you don't have a Steven Tyler that looks, moves, and sounds like Steven Tyler, and it's just a guy up there that looks like he just, finished his job at Home Depot and now he's on stage, well, now you're just a great Aerosmith cover band. Don't call yourself a tribute band. A tribute band should make the audience never feel like they are watching the actual band. Just for an hour and a half, they're at an Aerosmith concert.
Giving people that vacation from their problems, like What About Bob, right? Like giving people a chance to escape this world that we're in, all the stress. You can put all that away. You can put that on the shelf when you come in to see one of your shows. It's fun.
Yeah, and as long as we don't get so full of ourselves and to think that we're at the same status of the actual band, as long as guys like us remain grounded and go, look, we're having fun. It doesn't suck pretending to be Aerosmith for a couple hours, but we don't need to demand these crazy riders like we're actually a famous rock band. Like we're pretending to be somebody. Let's not forget about that. Just sell it the best you can. And look, we're just having fun. We're up on stage. I'm pretending to be Joey Kramer. Dude, I grew, before we have a show, I start growing the little soul patch.
Oh, right on. You right. Yeah.
Yeah, right now I've got it. I used to glue one on in the grain room before we went on, and now I just started growing it. And so like as we speak, and now I don't rock a beard. Like I don't. I like a smooth, hairless face. But when it's getting close to showtime, I have a stripe going down my chin, and that's just the level of dedication. Like, what are you going to do to pull off you're really the guy? Well, you look at a picture of him, you go, well, how can I look like him? I know I can play like him. I can pull off the music, but now I got to also alter my drumming style. I got to be a little stiffer, a little more intense. Joey Kramer doesn't play like Tommy Lee. And Tommy Lee doesn't play like Peter Criss. So you not only are we playing the same music, but I'm trying to mimic the way he plays it as well. So that's what I think a tribute band does, is they try to step into that character, and pull it off.
That's beautiful. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want an experience. We want to have fun. We want to turn off the stress of the world. And let's go ahead and wrap it up there, man. What a great story, and how inspiring to fall in love with rock and roll. Kiss turns you into a drummer, and now you get to bring that joy and that love of your music to the masses, man. It's so awesome. Sweet Emotionz with the Z, Aerosmith tribute band. Thank you so much, Joey Alessi, drummer of Sweet Emotionz, with us. Opening for Fast Times at the Visalia Fox Theater, Saturday, May 2nd, 7:15. Get there by 6:30. Get your merch. Get yourself something to drink. Get settled in. It's going to be a hell of a show. Get your tickets at foxvisalia.org. And are you traveling and playing other shows besides Visalia, or kind of got a mix, or what's going on? How can people check you out elsewhere?
Yeah, we actually have another show at Fast Times after this show in Huntington Beach. That's on June 20th. And is it June? Yeah, June 20th. And we actually start as soon as the World Cup ends. Like when the World Cup is done, the second it's finished, we go into our first song. So that's going to be lit. That's going to be lit up. It's in Huntington Beach. It's the day of the World Cup. So that's going to be a really good time. We're playing with Fast Times there as well. So, maybe we could check you out in Southern California over there at good old Huntington Beach.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for sharing your rock and roll memories too, dude. When people tune in to Rock Stories with the Brummster, I'm not the star of the show. It's you guys and everyone else out there that's getting into their own mental time machine and thinking about the first time, they heard that Kiss album, or they got to go backstage, and that's what you're doing, man. And when you have such an awesome band with you and opening for such an awesome band for the show, you really get to relay that. Again, you're not just a cover band, you're a tribute, and giving people that experience to have fun in their lives, man, it's worth its weight in gold. So appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much, Joey, for coming on Rock Stories, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. And one last thing, there might be we might have a surprise guest coming out when we do that Visalia show to sing one song with our Steven Tyler. So that's that I'm going to keep that as a surprise, but that may happen. So you can look, if you're coming, you're going to be in store for a treat.
Nice. I love it. It's going to be a blast, man. May 2nd, Visalia Fox Theater. Again, folks, Sweet Emotionz opening for Fast Times. It's a fun show. Get your tickets now at foxvisalia.org. Joey Alessi on the drums, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you rocking with us and sharing your stories, and I can't wait for the big show on May 2nd in V-Town, man.
Us too. We're so stoked. It's going to be a great time. Looking forward to meeting you.
You too, man. I'll get in touch with Jason and see if I can score some tickets, brother.
Yeah, I'll put you on the guest list, man.
There you go. I love it. See, the DJs get to, yeah, man. The DJs always get
put you on the guest list, and then when I'm out, when we were tore down and it's a Fast Times turn, then you could buy me a shot. How's that?
There you go. I love it. Jack, right? Jack Daniels is your thing, right?
Who told you?
You did earlier. That's when you.
Oh yeah.
When you were ruminating on what you were going to do, what band should we be?
Right. Yep. Yeah. A shot of Jack Daniels would really hit the spot after we put on the show. I don't drink before the show because we want to put on the best show possible, and the last thing you need is a sloppy drunk drummer. But when the show's done and the gear's put up, yeah, I'll take a shot.
There you go.
3. Yeah,
and maybe
sounds good.
And maybe head on down to the Salty Walrus afterwards.
Oh, I'm not leaving there without going to the Salty Walrus. That's gonna happen.
Right on, brother. Well, thanks for being on the show, man, and I can't wait to see you May 2nd, man. Hang on the line for our engineers, and I'll be right back. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Joey, I was going to say Kramer because he got the soul patch and everything. Joey Alessi, drums for the Aerosmith tribute band Sweet Emotionz with a Z, opening up for Fast Times again May 2nd, Saturday, 7:15. Get your tickets, foxbycellular.org. And stay tuned for more great rock stories from the Brummster right here at the Rock Stories with the Brummster YouTube channel. Peace out.